it was okay, and so I'm just taking a recording of it so that I can turn it in for my teacher, okay?
Okay.
All right, so to start off, let's look at your writing from this one. Can you read me what you wrote real quick?
There are different bees. The males called drones.
Okay, so what was the assignment for this particular piece of writing? What were you supposed to write?
3 sentences about what did I hear in the books, and I put it on one paper, and then I write I grab 3 of those sentences and put them on this paper.
Okay, and we had 18 minutes to do this, but when I look at your notes, you have really good notes here. Like, there are different kinds of bees. The males are called drones and do nothing at all. Bee stings are hurtful for a reason. There are different types of toxins, and a lot of people are allergic to bees. Then you also have really good questions, and you even have extra ones because you were only supposed to write.
There are kits of if people get stinged and they are allergic to bees.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you have like really good questions here, but when we come to your writing, there's not a lot here, so we don't even have 2 full sentences. But I know that you can write pretty well. So what happened here?
I was still trying to write my questions, so.
So you took the time that we were supposed to be writing to finish up your questions?
A little.
Okay, so then how long did you have to write this?
1.5 minutes.
1.5 minutes? Okay, so then what was the hardest part of writing this? Or what do you think that you did well? Which would you rather talk about first? Okay, what about your notes? Let's go to this, because this is part of your writing. What do you think went well with your notes? Because you do really well at that. What are some specific things?
I listened to some of them, and I put on my second observe of hearing the males called drones do nothing at all. So it's not exactly what the book said of venom, but it's like it. So I write things that are kind of like it, but not what it actually says in the book unless I'm allowed to.
Yes. Yeah, and that's exactly what the assignment was. So you did really well at that. But can I show you a little bit of this? This is a book that is in the classroom called Hidden Wildlife. And I have this page marked to talk about to show you an example. So in these first few pages, it goes on and it has a lot of words and pages and paragraphs about snakes, but then it comes right here and it just summarizes a little bit, which that's what we were supposed to be doing right here. So it says snakes have the added advantage of coiling or slithering into different shapes. This further blends them into their surroundings. Here are 5 snakes that live in 5 different habitats. Prop the book open to view them while backing away slowly, and you'll see them begin to disappear into their painted backgrounds. This is how difficult it can be to actually see them in the wild. Okay, so how do you think that you could apply some things that they did here, where it's a really short paragraph. This is 5 sentences and you're supposed to write 3. So what do you think that they did here to help summarize it?
They said snakes have added advantage of coiling or slithering into different shapes. That means like snakes slither into like grass and they curl up so their eyes don't like peek out and their color so they blend into the grass.
So if you were given the same assignment to write, but let's say 2 sentences based on this, because venom, what we read, it was a lot longer. I have it right here and it was a few pages. So if I said, Emma, can you summarize this in 2 sentences, what would you write down for me?
I would,
so if I gave you the same assignment, what would you write down for this?
Like the same exact words or like a different
To
sayings?
summarize it. What is the gist of this?
It's snake hiding snakes hiding.
Okay. Okay, so snakes can hide.
Yes, and they can blend in. That's what it meant, like when snakes have added adventures to going or living into different shapes. Shapes mean like blocks, like
Mhm.
they're square.
Yeah.
So the snake, it went into grass that's it's brown. It goes into like dead grass and it blends in a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah. So, what would you write on your paper then?
I would write snakes can go into shapes and some colorings. Snakes are the same colors as some things and they blend in with the other colors.
Good job. That's awesome. So, what do you think is the hardest part for you about doing this? About summarizing?
Here are the 5 snakes that live in the 5 different habitats. That doesn't make sense at all.
Okay. So, you kind of struggle with understanding what you're reading first?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then, what is something that you can do to improve on understanding it better?
I could write about what I think it means and then write it that way and then see what I can do.
Yeah, so you can give it your best guess and then we can look it up because it talks about these further. So then we can use more details, like open this up.
Oh, cool. There are some books that does that.
Yeah, and so then it talks about it and it explains it better. So then we can either write about what we think it means or put down in our notes what we think it means. And then could we research it some more after that? Okay, perfect. And then that is the end of our writing conference for our first one. So we just have 4 more. Perfect. Thank you, Emma. Okay.